Welcome to the Global Speaker Advantage, the #1 podcast where your voice goes beyond borders. Hosted by Oliver Sham, international speaker and coach, this show is for speakers ready to grow influence, land paid gigs, and make a global impact. Tune in every Tuesday and Friday weekly for insights, interviews, and strategies to help you thrive on the world stage. Let's go global.
Hey. This is another
Hi.
exciting show, and like you can see already, I'm excited. Today is very special, and I have an amazing guest from India. And before I go ahead and introduce my guest, I want to give a huge shout out to all the listeners, thousands of listeners around the world, from Singapore to Europe to Africa to the United States to Canada and all around the world. Thank you for all you've been doing, watching our episode, the live, the rebroadcast on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thank you so much. Keep on sharing. Today, we are so blessed to receive here a special guest right away from India. She is the president of the Indian Professional Speakers Association Mumbai chapter. She is a medical doctor and she owns her private clinic. She is an author of 4 books on purpose, on marriage, on girls, and on gratitude. Away from that, she is a keynote speaker and, of course, a professional speaker, and she speaks all around the world, physically and virtually. Welcome, Dr. Alka Chada.
Thank you, Oliver. Thank you for having me. We've been planning this for quite some time, and here we are finally doing this show. My
Pretty good.
privilege.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It's such a blessing and a privilege to have you here at the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. In this podcast, we interview top international speakers and global speakers from different continents and different countries of the world, and you're just one of them. And it's such a blessing, and we believe our guests are so blessed. Many of them were quite excited, looking forward to the show, and this is the show. So, what is the one word, even before we dive deeper into the conversation, what is the one word that describes you, your work, and any other thing that represents you here on earth, Dr. Alka Chadam?
One word that describes me is happy.
Oh, nice. Happy.
I'm always happy. Yeah. Happiness, according to me, is a skill.
Yeah, you're right. I love that. You're right. From the first day I had a conversation with you,
Yeah.
and till today, I have been so obsessed with your happiness. I've seen that in every conversation we'll be having. And that is, I'm excited to hear. And of course, we need to be happy because happiness, like they say, is a choice. And if you choose not to be happy, it is still a choice. And if I was you watching right now, I would choose to be happy, even as we dive deeper into the details and the nitty gritties of the conversation or the podcast. So, right
I would
away,
I
yeah,
would
go
also
ahead,
say
Doctor.
that happiness is also not only a choice, it's a decision that we make every moment of our life. It's also a discipline. It can be, it's a skill that we can, keep on improving moment to moment, day after day after day after day. And then we wire our brain, no matter what happens, no matter brickbats I get, no matter how many challenges I have in my life, I am going to choose to be happy. So it's a choice, it's an attitude, it's a way of life, and we have to make it into a habit finally. This is what I
That is
say about
it.
this.
And
Yeah.
today we are talking about mindset shift,
Yes.
how to move from having a thought to global influence. That is our topic for today, my dear.
Yes.
So, Doctor, what key mental shift must someone actually undertake to move from having an idea to influencing the world with that idea?
So in my life, the universe has always played a big role in my life. And do you believe in the universe? Do you think that the universe shows you signs every time here and there? Does it show you signs? Are you in connect with the universe? Oliver.
Yeah. The universe. I believe in the universe. I believe in God, and I believe that
Yes.
everything happens based on the creation's programming,
Yes.
and and
Everything happens
and
for a
even our
reason.
meeting today is because it was
Yeah.
planned, it was programmed.
Yeah. So our mind is a part of our system and it is controlled by our intellect.
Mm-hmm.
So how what the thoughts are coming in into our mind, each and every thought, if we can monitor our thoughts. Say, at any given time, we have 70,000 thoughts coming into our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at those thoughts, 90% of the thoughts may be negative. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to learn to filter our thoughts. If a woman comes to me in my training and she's, like negative, 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 it's very easy to spiral down into that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But when we change that thought, when we change, we catch hold of that thought and we just throw it away. It's a habit. It's over a period of time. We get rid of our negative thoughts, we make them into positive thoughts, and then we make these positive thoughts into action. It's not just the thought which is important. The thought has to be put into action. And when we put it into action, see, the brain is also containing what is known as the amygdala. And
Yeah.
my pet line is amygdala is the primitive brain, and the primitive brain has to be killed. I say kill the amygdala, kill the negative thoughts. And how
Mhm.
do you do that? You do that by moment to moment seeing what is coming into your mind. And that's a practice. It doesn't come overnight. If I say overnight, come on now, start looking at your thoughts, it doesn't come. I'll give you a small illustration. Like you can close your eyes, Oliver.
Mhm.
Just sit in silence. Just look at your breath and just observe what are the thoughts which are coming into your mind.
Mhm.
And I always say that keep a pen with you, write down one negative, two negative, three positive, one positive, one positive, one positive. And when you see this and you do it repeatedly for half a minute or 1 minute, you will
Mhm.
find how many negative thoughts, how many positive thoughts.
Yeah.
And then we slowly and slowly empower ourselves to look at the positive thoughts and then what I can do with my life. So at a given time, when you have a situation which is negative, when you are having a challenge in your life, you have to look at it from the deeper point of view. You have to go within. And Oliver, something happens when you close your eyes. All your attention is shifted from the outside materialistic world into the intangible world. Have you
Mhm.
noticed that?
Yep.
Have you noticed? Yeah. So closing your eyes and doing the exercise, I'm not even calling it meditation. I'm calling it reflection. I'm calling it just sitting in a isolated place quietly by yourself. So I have a question for the audience. How many of you spend how much time, let us say, in 24 hours with your own self? Oliver, how much time do you spend with yourself alone, without a book, without a phone, without a screen, without music, without a movie? So, how much time do you spend with yourself in 24 hours?
That's away from the time you have to sleep, right?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Well, not probably less than 3 hours in 24 hours.
3, 4 hours is a lot of time.
Mhm.
If you actually ask the world today, you ask the youngsters today, you're also very young, but I don't find that 3, 4 hours is being spent by yourself. Many of the patients, many of my clients, when I talk to them in the trainings, they don't have time for themselves. My audience is the audience which is between 30 and 40. They're working very hard, they're very stressed out, and they come and they tell me, ma'am, I have everything in my life. I'm working from pillar to post. I have money, I have home, I have name, I have fame, but there is something still lacking inside of me. And they find there's a hole in their heart. They find something unfulfilling. And what is that? The reason for that is we are stressed and stressed and stressed. The purpose of life has become to make money and money and money. If we just shift the purpose of life, if we just shift our thought that
Mhm.
I'm doing this because I want to help somebody,
Mhm.
whatever work you may be doing, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a coach or a mentor, if you're doing it with the intention and the purpose of helping somebody, bringing about a contribution in the society, making someone better, and
Mhm.
just loving and just caring for somebody, automatically something shifts in your mind, and your performance is better, your productivity is better, and definitely your prosperity is better. So it's a question of time, Oliver. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a question of time, and slowly, when we practice and practice and practice these thoughts, they change, and they change our mindset, and the amygdala is killed. Slowly, we don't think about the negative thoughts, and the amygdala becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So my favorite line is kill your amygdala and
Oh,
come back to the prefrontal cortex. This is the prefrontal cortex. The neuroscience says this is the brain of execution, the frontal brain.
mm,
And when you take action, when you do things that you really want to do, when you have those happy thoughts, when you go out in the world and you dance and you move your body and you sing and you're happy, that's when this becomes activated. Your brain is having a party. So that is how you change your thoughts, and you change your brain structure, and you change your life.
mm.
Over to you, Oliver.
Amazing. Amazing. As a theme, apart from the amygdala, there is still another part of the brain called the RAS, the reticular activating system, for my study of the brain. And it is good at keeping negative memories and helping you to fight back attacks, especially unconsciously. So looking at the reticular activating system and the amygdala, which they almost work together, what do you have to say to people watching us right now? And for instance, maybe you are a young woman, you dated a man, and he disappointed you at the end of the day, and the relationship did not work out. And you dated another man, gentleman, and it did not work out. And you dated another one, it did not work out. Well, and you're like, all men are bad. Like the same thing with women, and anyone that shows up, you're like,
Yeah.
no, you're just blocking. You just put a sign like no entry zone. And because of that, maybe the fourth one was that one that could have a relationship with you, or maybe the fourth lady was that one that could have a relationship with you. What can you tell our listeners right now that their
Yeah.
reticular activating system has been fighting any sign that is coming to them, which they have a negative experience before, to actually slow down and ask themselves, could this be an opportunity?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have to say, please?
I got your question. So reticular activating system is actually the place of regulation of your emotions. And I would say that if a human being, if he's not control of his emotions, then he's not control of his own life. And for
Mm,
me, this question is so funny because my Women's Day post is about thanking the men in my life because I'm so grateful to all the men in my life, whether it's my dad, it's my husband, my son, my brother, or whoever it is, because
mm,
I really feel that this world needs men and women together. We are interdependent on each other. We are not separate from each other, and we
mm,
love each other, and we complement each other. The
mm,
way a woman is made and the way a man is made, they're very differently made. And there's no competition. We have to
mm,
just learn to care for each other. A husband and wife are there to love each other, to witness each other's lives. And there is no ego. But point is, when the ego comes in, the problems come in. And what you're talking about, one bad experience in your life, you labeled everybody is bad. That is
mhm,
a case with everybody today. It's happening. But the reticular activating system, you have to make it smarter and smarter every day by practicing the positivity and by regulating your emotions. So how do you regulate your emotions? You be aware of them. You understand that, okay, this is the power of emotional intelligence, I would say. Whenever
mhm,
you're getting a negative emotion, you have to realize that I am getting a negative emotion, acknowledge that emotion, and
mhm,
then only you can change it. If you're not aware of it, then you're not going to change it. I remember when I was a little girl, I was studying for medicine to get into the medical college, and I used to have to walk from my home to the bus stop for at least 20 minutes in the morning. Every morning, I was walking for 20 minutes to reach my bus stop to go to college. And there was my father is a scientist from Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and there was a training school behind my home. And the boys were all engineers and all scientists. And I was going to study medicine, and they would all follow me in that line. Do you know what I did? I wrote in my cupboard. There was a in my cupboard on the left hand side. Inside my cupboard, I wrote a letter to myself. Do not look at boys. So The awareness has to be there, because I wanted to focus on my studies. I wanted to become a doctor, and I did not want to distract myself, going in
Mm,
the tangential direction. Boys will come later in my life, but right now my focus is studies. So being aware of your emotions, being aware of your feelings, that is step number one. And step number two is then regulating your emotions. And that is something which we call mind control. How do we control our mind? We control our mind by breathing. We control our mind by various techniques, by reflection. We control our mind by sitting and visualization. We control our mind by affirmations. We have various tools and techniques today, and they have been proven by neuroscience and how we control our mind. But that comes with practice. Every
mm,
single day we have to practice, 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 and then only the structure of the brain changes, the function of the brain changes. And do you know something, Oliver, when we sit in silence, when we sit quietly, when we're doing our affirmations, when we're doing our visualization, something very beautiful is happening.
mm,
Our parasympathetic system is getting activated, and we're going towards calm. So there's so much of chaos and noise and clutter in our life. There's too much of noise around us. But the idea of closing our eyes is when we go to quietness, we go to quietude, we go to calmness. And that to me is the key of life. Stillness is the key to life, because we go within ourselves. Life is not an outside. Life is an inside journey, and it takes time to activate your RAS, the activating system, the
mm.
brain, and the prefrontal cortex. So all this can be activated, and they can be strengthened by
Mm,
practice.
I
Over
love
to you.
that.
Yeah.
So this is great. I love that. Um, the other day here in the Global Speakers Advantage podcast, I interviewed, not interviewing, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with patients about patients. About patient is actually an international speaker from the Republic of Cameroon. She was here with me live in the studio here in Minnesota. And when we're talking, she shared a story how she was going to school barefooted, though a beautiful girl in those days, because the parents did not wanted to dress her up, putting earrings and putting nice dresses on her, because the parents were scared that if she was dressed up at that tender age of 12, 15, 20, and all of that so well, the boys could distract her and derail her from her studies and all of that. And
Yeah.
I understand that when it comes to relationship and all of that, boys, they have the upper hand because they can actually distract. For instance, when a boy impregnates a girl and they are not legally married, um it can actually affect the girl more than the boy, because the person that carries the pregnancy for 9 months is a girl, not a
Yeah.
boy. And that
Yeah.
can hamper on her education, and to an extent is really restrain her from pursuing her dream a little bit, that she's having a delayed in whatever she was pursuing. But the boy is there, he goes about his business and all of that, and
Yeah.
some actually even run away. So, Dr. Akat, why is it, what strategies can you share based on your experience growing up as a girl, beautiful, brilliant, having a dream to become a doctor, on what parents who have girl children, like I have girl children, like all my children are girls, on how what they can start doing to educate their girl children, and to, in fact, you're even written a book on girls, on
Yes. On daughters. Daughters.
what can parents start doing to educate their girl children,
Yeah.
like boys, at the same time, not to hamper on the girls, to play negatively on them, or using their vulnerability as an advantage, to hurt their emotions. What advice do you have to share with parents and the girls watching us right now, especially those teenagers and those adolescents, even the youth for one watching us right now, on how they can, you made a statement that you roots somewhere, that I'm not going to look on boys, and that helped you, today you're a medical doctor, you own your clinic in Mumbai, India. That
Yeah.
helped you. What do you have to share to parents, to the girls watching us right now, even to the boys, on how they can discipline themselves and stay away from creating troubles and causing people's children harm and creating chaos for the next future?
So this is a long answer to a short and a long question. I'm
Okay.
from a family of four daughters, and my dad, he was always preparing us to meet the world tomorrow. He was always preparing us. So, three of us are doctors. Out of four daughters, we are three of us are doctors. And the most intelligent girl, she became an air hostess, and she's flying in the world. She's flying today. So I would say that my dad was preparing us. So, my dad and myself, we had innumerable dates. My dad wrote letters for me. I've still preserved them in files. My dad wrote very, very encouraging letters to me that if whatever it may be, my birthday, my marriage anniversary, or my any event in my house, in my life, he wrote letters to all four of us. And he was always preparing us for the future. He didn't tell us you're the best and you can do everything and you can achieve everything. No, 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 no. He said you do it right now because if I have a flat tire in my car, I was told I can't call up my dad and say that, well, I got a flat tire. No, I can't do that. I have to know how to change my tire.
Mm,
Independent. You have to be independent. You have to be free. So you want to do, you are like a big queen, you're like a big leader, you call yourself a leader, but you've got to behave like a leader. And my dad always taught us that don't be stuck up in life, don't catch hold of anger, and don't catch of this. And there was a tagline in my house which said, be like water. And
mm,
this has changed my life, Oliver. Be like water means you have to give. Water is always giving. It's
mm,
giving so much and it's nourishing. So he always asked me four questions you have to ask yourself when you are in trouble. The second quality of water is it's flexible.
mm,
It goes around, below, above the pebbles and the stones and the bolsters which come on your way. So, how flexible are you? The first question you ask yourself is, are you giving or are you only taking from the society, from the world, from the people around you? Are you giving? Learn to give. Second is, are you flexible? Third question was about, are you resilient? So,
mm,
you boil the water to 100 degrees centigrade and then you cool it. It comes back to its normal cool self. How cool are you? Are you always angry? Today, I find the young communities, their anger is sitting on the tip of the nose. They get upset for little things. So this is one thing, to control your anger, to be resilient. And the fourth thing is, if you want to do something iconic in your life, if you want to become a dynamic speaker, a dynamic doctor, or whatever you want to become in your life, there are three or four qualities you have to have. And there are three P's. And what are those three P's? Do you know, Oliver?
I-
Oliver, why does the stone cut why does the water cut through the stone? It does it very, very gently. It does it very, very caringly. It doesn't use force. It's a question of patience
mhm.
and persistence and
Persistent
perseverance.
perseverance.
So these are the things my dad, he always kept on teaching us whenever we were trouble. He said, ask yourself this question. And the last thing is the look at the sea. The sea is so humble. The sea is a picture of humility. All the streams from the mountain come and they go into the sea. The sea is not complaining. Why are you coming into me? The sea is humble. It's taking in, it's inclusive. It's so humble. It's so modest. It takes in everything which comes into itself. So that is called egolessness. So are you egoistic in a particular situation? And this is what my dad always taught me. And it has worked with me throughout my life, to be like water, to flow like water, to speak like water, so that I can interact with my audience. And I would say to the parents of the daughters that just love them. Just love them and love them. Whether it's a daughter, whether it's a son, let them just blossom. Let them just blossom into beautiful flowers like you and me, unique flowers with a unique fragrance. Each child has a unique fragrance. So let them just blossom into those flowers and they will find their way, they will find their purpose. The upbringing, we have to give the value systems. Are you I would look at the parents and ask one question: are you the role model to your child? If you tell your child to go for a walk, are you walking? You have to walk. You have to do what you want your child to do. Your
Mhm,
child is a copycat. Your child is your copy. He's
mm,
going to just do exactly what you want, what you are doing. He will
mm.
not do what you want him to do, but he will do. If you are disciplined, he will become disciplined. If
Yeah.
you are having the right kind of food, he will have the right kind of food. If you're sleeping late, he's going to sleep late. So you discipline yourself, your children will get disciplined. This is my answer. Give them a lot of love. Thank you.
I love that. To those who have ears, let them hear. I got the wisdom in what you said, and I really appreciate. Somebody says, children learn by catching, not by hearing. What that means to me is children, they will always cut it. You know, for instance, there's a day here. I got up in the morning. I wanted to go to Walmart and buy bread. Dr. Aka, you know what they use bread for, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I had to do breakfast. So my bread was finished. So I had to go buy bread in the supermarket at Walmart.
Yeah.
And it got dawned on me that my mother used to fry uh gateau, kind of puff, back then in Africa, in Cameroon. And I it got told on me that I can do this thing and use it as my bread for breakfast for the next days here in my house. And
Yeah.
you know what? Good enough. I had flour in the house. I had the oil and all those baking stuff, baking powder and all of that. And
Mm.
immediately I had to challenge myself. I warmed water. I remember getting up every 5 a.m. and watching my mom do this almost every week. And immediately I boiled water. I did not go to any ChatGPT or Google or YouTube to ask for recipe on how to do that stuff. I immediately remembered how she would measure everything put together. And long story short, I got my perform met, and it took me like 2 3 days to do it. And I keep doing it. I stopped buying bread and I started frying bread, and baking bread because
Yeah.
of what my mom taught me. And she
Yeah.
had no idea that's what I learned. So,
Yeah.
children, you don't need to tell them what to do because they will cut it as you're doing it. And they will live to have that in at the back of their mind that this is how this thing is done. And so the question we have asking parents right now is like Dr. Alka would say, are you the role model to your children? Because at times we don't ever have to blame the children to an extent. The blame is always on parents. Did you play your role well? Are you walking the
Absolutely.
talk? Are you doing what you are asking them to do? Because I believe that if you begin to do, and if we begin to do the things we're asking our children to do as parents, our children will not only give us trouble, but they will never give us trouble, but they will be able to just key into our actions, to our steps, to our character, to our habits, to the little things we do every day. And if they are good things, I bet you'll be so proud of them. And I think that's a very powerful point there, Dr. Alker, and I really appreciate. Parents become role models. If you're
I
asking
also
your
want
go ahead, please.
I want to share something at this moment,
Okay.
and that is, I don't know why the echo is coming, but what I want to share is that the children, the teenagers, the adolescents, they may not listen to your parents, but they are watching you all the time. And I have this senior citizens club with me in my building where I have my patient education programs. I have a room where it is air conditioned, and we make them sit and we listen to their talks, and they listen to us. So what I did was this senior citizens, they come and they sit in my infrastructure. We give them cup of tea, coffee. They read books and from my library. They read newspaper and they chat with each other. But recently, what I started was that I called some teenagers from the neighboring houses. I called some adolescent children. I said, "Come on, why don't you come and join us?" And
Mm,
something beautiful happened. I never expected this to happen. Something magical happened. What
mm,
happened was these children, 16, 15, 17 years, they started coming and sitting with these elderly people. And
mm,
what I told them was, why don't you read stories to these elderly people? And when they were reading the stories to these elderly people, the elderly people were finding it so beautiful that this child is looking at me, because their own grandchildren don't have time for them. And in these people's houses, the child who is coming here, he has no time for his parents or his grandparents. So one day I got a phone call from one of the parents, and she told me that, "Ma'am, I want to come and meet you." I said, "Okay, come over, come and meet me." And what she told me was so beautiful. She said, "My child was not listening to me at all. And at the age that teenager is, they are always, trying to rebel against the parents. They want something which is not, the parents don't want to give them. But he said that since the time that these people have been talking to the elderly people have been talking to him, he's listening to them, and he's coming home and telling the stories to his parents what that lady in my clinic told them. So I find that there's a magical relationship between elders and teenagers, and when they meet in a company and when they share with each other their pains, so the child is sharing his pain, my mom doesn't listen to me, and the grandmother is sharing the pain with this child, my children don't listen to me. So it's a beautiful place, of sharing, and sharing is caring, and sharing is also therapy. So it's
Yeah.
therapy for both the people. And I'm going to do this more in details, and I'll share with you what's happening with this. I just started about 2 years back, and I find that there's a great effect on the children. So when we introduce children and keep them in the company of the elders, they change a lot. The trick is not to talk to them in a condescending way. Never judge the children.
Mhm.
Never. You cannot judge them. The only thing that we can do to our children is to love them. And I feel that this loving people and loving children, it applies to internationally universal. Love the people in your life, cherish the people in your life, relish them, relish your food, but cherish the people in your life. Over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that. So,
I
dear
get
listeners, um, children caught it. They're not taught. They are caught. They
hear
are
you,
not
Oliver.
taught. Now,
Oliver, I
but we
can't hear
have
you.
cases. Hey, Dr. Agar.
I can't hear you, Oliver. I don't know why.
Okay, you can hear me? Sound.
Can you hear me?
Check. Yes. Sound.
I can't hear you. What happened?
Check.
Everything on our side seems to be okay.
Okay. Everything seems to be
You can hear
okay.
me, right?
Yeah, I can hear
You
you,
can hear
Doctor.
me.
Yeah, I can
You
hear
can
you.
hear me,
Yep.
Thumbs up.
but I cannot
Everything
hear you. Why?
everything
What is the
seems to be okay.
problem? I don't know what is the problem. Say something, Oliver. Say something.
Yes. I can hear you.
Wait, what is the problem?
Check your system. Probably your system.
Okay. Now you say something. Now you say
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
probably your system. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So what do you have to say in extreme cases? Their parents, they really show love to their children. They're giving their very best. I know of parents that they have given in their very best to a particular child, but again, the child seems to be stubborn. What advice, what words of encouragement, how can you show empathy, how can you talk to those parents, please? I understand we're talking about mindset shift, and you being an author on parenting and girls and all of that. I just wanted to say a word to that even as we proceed.
So I'm a coach, but not for the parents. But I do take some classes for parents,
Okay.
and what I have seen in most of the cases is the stubbornness of the child is not because of the stubbornness, but the child is crying for some love and affection. The child is crying for attention. The child is crying for empathy. The child is crying for to be heard and to be seen. That's what the child is crying in maximum number of cases. I'm not an expert in this, but this is what I have seen in case of stubborn children. Have you seen a 2-year-old child? One day, I was on the airport, and the dad was at the back, the mom was in front, and this 2-year-old was at the back behind the dad. So dad, then mom, then the child. Now the child is asking for ice cream on the airport. They are going to check in into the for the flight, and the child was asking for ice cream. 2-year-old child, very small child. So the mother said, "No ice cream now." She knelt down. She went. She made eye contact with the child, and she told the child, "No ice cream now. We are going into the plane. After we finish checking in, we'll get you an ice cream. Come on now." So he didn't listen. He was shouting and screaming. She left him, and she walked away. And then he lied down on the ground, and he was doing. She did not bother. She did not call him back. She did not say anything. And the husband stayed behind, and he was walking slowly behind the child, just watching what is happening. And the lady, she took the luggage and she went inside into the airport, and she was doing her check-in. After some time, I noticed that this child got up and he started walking. So
Mm. Wow.
we give in to the tantrums of the children.
Mm.
It's obvious that they're looking for attention.
Mm.
We are all hungry for attention. We are all hungry for being acknowledged. Same is with the child. We're hardwired to be seen. So a child is also, it's a cry for help. In a couple, I would say, in the office, I would say, between the boss, between the management, the senior management, and the leader who's above him, each one is trying to get attention. And when we don't give them the attention, it's a cry. They can be throwing tantrums, they can be insulting people, they could be getting angry, and they could be throwing words at people. So the team management at home, or whether it's in the office and with the children of small age or big age, it's the same thing. So I would say that again, loving the children and not letting them become that stubborn child. And if he has become stubborn, then we better to take some help. And again, talking, counseling is the only way out. There is no punishment. There is no way to become harsh with the child. And I would say it's only listening to what the child is saying. Listening is it's such a beautiful weapon, a tool, a technique which we are not using. We are underutilizing listening. If a child is stubborn, the thing is to give a lot of time to this child to speak. Let him go on talking without interrupting, without judging him. We have to listen to what he's telling. And that, in my view, it's not easy. It's painstaking. It's going to take a lot of time, but that is the way to help your child, to help your colleague, to help your team member, to help anybody who is in trouble, who's become stubborn or egoistic or whatever. I go for empathy and I go for listening. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. We actually labored on that point of parenting and all of that children, because that's the foundation of society. So if the children are not well brought up, there's not going to be influence, there's not going to be mindset shift, and it all begins with the family there. So thank you so much. And to our viewers, that was so important that we trash that out. Dr. Arger, can you share with us a personal experience on how you move from an idea to global influence?
So, if I tell you my journey, when I became a doctor, I got married. So, before that, I'm the twinkle of my dad's eye. I have all the time of with my dad and with my mom, and we get a lot of love and affection. I was told so many stories at night time, bedtime stories. My dad made me sleep with lullabies, and I was brought up in that kind of an environment. But the day you get married, but I met the person of my dreams, a person who is very calm and who is very peaceful. And that's what made the change in my life. After I got married, I had to juggle my work and my children and my family and my everything. But I had the support of my husband. And I said that I want to make a house. I want to have my own house, but I don't want to take help from anybody. I'm coming to the point of global influence because it is your thought which counts. What is it that you want in your life? What kind of character do you want to build yourself? What is a personality that you want to build yourself? If you read James Clear, if you read Atomic Habits, he talks about processes. He talks about systems. And I think habits are the systems in our body, in our mind, in our essence of ourselves. So when I got married, when I was juggling so much, one day when I was going to drop my children to the babysitter, I fell down, I broke my ankle, and as I was lying on the bed, relaxed but not moving so much, not juggling so much, I realized that this was a sign from the universe to tell me to slow down. And that was the time I realized that the spark within me had died because I was searching for the wrong things in my life. I wanted a comfortable house. I wanted a comfortable living for my family, for my children. But that's the time I realized that it's not those things which are important. What is important is giving time to your own self, giving time to your own children. And do you know something? I resigned my job. I resigned my job without even realizing how am I going to pay my installment for my house. With one salary of my husband, with one salary, I could not ever pay the installment. But I had the faith in the universe. I surrendered to the universe that the universe is going to find a way. And then I started looking for more jobs and my clinic and everything. My thought was that I want to be independent. I want to be free, but I'm not taking money from my parents or from anybody. But I took a loan from the bank, of course, which I had to pay. And taking the bank loan makes you very, very active, and it makes you don't splurge your money. because you have to pay your installment. You don't
Yeah.
go and watch a movie because you don't have that kind of money. You don't go to the mall to buy a dress. My children, I would not go and take them for shopping every day. Come on, I can buy you clothes. No, 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 no. No, nothing, nothing. I was living a very, very subdued life because I wanted something in my life. So, my question to everyone is that if you want to build the world, first you have to build yourself. What is it that you want in your life? What is a process and what is a system that you want to build inside yourself? What is a character? What is a version of yourself that you want to become? You want to become a strong person, like my dad said, become strong, but be soft from inside. So for me, after my marriage, after my fracture, it was a turning point in my life. After I resigned my job, I started spending a lot of time with my own children, and I made storytelling groups, and I made a happiness school after that. And this happiness school was my way of giving significance to myself. I introduced all the children and their parents, and I was talking to them about happiness, about joy. Because, Oliver, one thing is for sure that when you give away joy, joy only comes back to you. If
Mm-hmm.
joy is what if joy is what you give away, joy is what you come it comes back each day. This is what I feel. That is my quote. So my message to the world would be, what is it that you want to become? What is your identity? What is it that you want to build yourself? What is that you want to change about yourself? You want to become a smarter, a better version of yourself. And when you work on yourself, when you change your personality, when you become the strong character that you want to become, automatically you can change the world. So your thoughts are your property. Your thoughts, what is it that you really want? Our mind has got an extraordinary power. Whatever you want to become, you can, but you have to work at it. You have to put your thoughts into action. Write down your thoughts, practice them every day, put the affirmations, visualize what you want to become, and then slowly, 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 you will start manifesting what you want to become. So it was my journey from where I was to where I am. And that is what I tell to everyone. You can do it. You can definitely do it. Over to you, Oliver.
Oh, you can do it. So global influence start from inside. You have to be stronger inside before you can influence globally. I love that. So let me dive it a little bit for some very important reasons. I was listening to a kind of a preacher, I think day before yesterday, and she was addressing on what you just talked about, the importance of getting married to the right person. And this is there is a myth, Doctor. There's a big myth out there. Most of the time, when a young woman grows up and at the age of getting married, maybe at the age of 18, 19, 20, 25, whatever. So they have an ideal man that they want to get. This is part of global influence. That's why we're talking about this. They have a growth mind. And they have a mindset of the kind of husband or the kind of woman they want to get married to. Most of the time, you hear young girls make statements like, I want to get married to a man that is tall, that is handsome, that has money, or that has a car, or has a private jet. And you're like, oh my gosh. So that is the definition of a man that you want to get married to. And most of the time, when they end up not getting this, their ideal man, that has been fantasized all the time, they get so frustrated. And at times, the man who is probably shorter, maybe not having those qualities that they already fantasize, will come their way. And that could just be the right man that will help them to blossom, to become that global icon, to live their dreams. They run away. They're like, this is not what I saw, and so I can't settle for this man. And so that's a big problem that I've seen in our society. And the question I'm asking is like, what advice, like, what can you be married for years, like, and your husband, you love him, you've been together for some time, and you happily married till now, you bless children. What advice, what recommendation can you give to younger people watching at us right now, especially the single ones, on an ideal man or an ideal woman, in order to avoid all that myth that, oh, I have to get married to this fancy woman, to this fancy man? Because what is important is fulfilling your purpose on earth, living your assignment, becoming who you wanted to become. And there are some of these fancy men or fancy women that they will not help you to become that person. if you just have to think again and look again deeper and critically. What do you have to say, Dr. Alka Chada?
Absolutely. So, in my chapter in my book of the magical lives of happy couples,
Yeah.
there's a chapter for the unmarried people. And in that, I've written my story. I was having a boyfriend before I met my husband.
Okay.
And this boy, and we were sitting we used to have exams, the medical college exams. We have four colleges in India, in Mumbai. And all the children, they come together and we sit in alphabetical order. So my future husband came between me and my earlier friend, and he sat in front of me, and I did not like him. I did not like him at all, and I was just thinking that, what is this kind of person who's sitting in with me? And he was sitting quietly in one place, not
Mm,
talking to anybody. There
mm,
was chaos in the examination hall. Everybody
mm,
was asking everybody, "Hey, come on, you know that question? Have you studied this? Have you studied that?" And medical exams are the toughest exams in the world. Everybody was having the books open and they're reading and they're revising and all that. And this person is sitting quietly like this, closing his eyes, not bothered about the world, unagitated, unruffled. I said, "What a boring person." But then, as I was looking at his handwriting and as I was looking at his diagrams, and as I fell in love with this person, and I did not know anything about him. And
mm,
I don't know how he fell in love with me. I really don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is that your partner doesn't have to be right. I was very, very wrong for my husband because I'm a very impulsive person, a very talkative person, a very big conversationalist, and this is a very quiet person. It was probably the opposites were attracting each other. And getting attracted to such a person is very easy. But when you get married, you want to fight with somebody, don't you, Oliver?
mhm,
You want to have an argument with somebody. And I didn't have anyone to have an argument with. And that's when my journey started of understanding myself and understanding my spouse. That why is he so quiet? How come he's so quiet? What is there in him which keeps him so calm and unruffled? I started studying the pranic healing. I started studying yoga. I became a yoga teacher at the age of 28. I became a yoga teacher. I became a pranic healer. After a few years, I did neuro-linguistic programming, not for becoming a speaker. I did all these things to understand myself. The
mhm,
point I'm trying to make is that any couple will have lot of differences. Each one is brought up in a different way, but you have to make yourself right for that person. Don't expect that person to become right for you. My journey showed me that I tried to understand myself in order to understand my husband, because I was intrigued the way he was loved by people. Do you know something? A calm person is a very attractive person. A very attractive people love such a person because they don't judge anybody, they don't criticize anybody, they don't find faults with anybody. So such people are well liked by everybody. And that was my journey. I started loving this man even more and more when I started understanding him. And then I became a copycat. He became my influencer, and I started learning to become like him, to become calm, to become unagitated. And then my inner journey started, and that is who I became. Today also, I have not changed completely. It's just that I talk a little less when he's around.
that's
So
nice.
I would say that there is no right partner. You are the right partner. If you are right, then he becomes right. Or if the boy is right, then the girl becomes right. So the onus and the responsibility lies on you and not on the opposite person. This is my study and this is my experience in my life. I'm married for 42 years and
Mm,
I feel I've been married just yesterday. So that's my advice to everybody.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I love that. Couples have conversations, and personally, I always have conversations with my wife, and less of kind of arguments. And now the point is that we, I've seen situations where, especially, it's always mostly on the side of the girl. They like to judge young boys, about they will want to predict the future. For me, I'm a man of faith, so it's only God that knows the future. So you don't predict the future. You can see a young boy today that is poor, wretched, who is looking hopeless, but only like God has his future. And so many people have judged people, and the next 2 years their lives completely change, and they're like, oh, I wish I did not make that mistake. And so this is a big lesson. This is a glaring call to especially young girls out there who are looking for soulmates and spouses and life partners. Like, boys, don't focus on the parents' wealth. Don't focus on the appearance. Don't focus on the educational experience, the global exposure. Focus on the vision. Don't ask young boys, do you have a bank account? And don't ask young boys, how many countries have you traveled to? Ask them, what is your vision? Because that is what can determine if he can be the one who can help you to become that superstar that you're born to be or not. Because, we shall all give an account, to God at the end of the day. And you will not say that because I got married to the wrong husband that I did not achieve my dreams, I did not live my purpose on earth. Or it's because I got married to the wrong wife that I failed in that assignment. No, it doesn't matter. You have to do it irrespective of who you get married to. So you don't want to become a victim of circumstances by mingling and get into a relationship with the wrong people. That will hurt you, and at the end of the day it will not work out well for your goods finally. So thank you so much, Dr. Aka, for those. It's the podcast is becoming very interesting. At a certain point I am a little bit happy, tense, at the same time we're flowing. So what are the practices? This is so interesting. What are the practices that we can start doing as citizens of the world in order to actually transform our thoughts into global influence? What are the daily practices, habits, weekly habits and monthly things we have to start doing if we want to make a global influence, please?
So for me, the first thing would be to sleep early at night. Your sleep, no matter what you're doing in your life, you're having the right nutrition, you're doing the right exercise, you're having the right thoughts, you're doing everything. But if you're not sleeping well, then it's a very big disadvantage to you. So sleeping early helps you to get up early. The morning rituals. What are you doing in the morning? So in India, we say the 4 to 6 a.m. time in the morning is a very precious time. And if you get up in the morning, Oliver, you'll realize there are no distractions. There's complete quiet. There's maximum performance and maximum productivity at that time. And you can do whatever you want. So the time it takes in the afternoon for you to do something for 1 hour, you can finish it in 15 minutes in the morning. So I would say the first thing is the winding down. When you wind down at night, how are you winding down? Are you grateful for the things that you have done? Do you take a note of what has gone well during the day? Do you write down what you can improve the next day? How do you wind down? Are you finding down fighting with your husband? So I would say that in the evening after 7 p.m., have an early dinner. After 7 p.m., no fighting, no argument, low, no TV, no screen. Just have loving talks with your family members. Have your dinner or what you want to have, a nightcap or whatever, everything, and then prepare yourself to sleep early. That is step number 1 for me. Step number 2 is get up early in the morning. When you get up early in the morning, whether you want to write a book, so I've written 4 books now, and I would say that I get maximum time in the morning when I can write, and my thoughts are coming quickly one after the other. In the afternoon time, I'm distracted. I'm totally distracted with so many things in my life, what is happening in my clinic and elsewhere. So getting up in the morning. Now, sitting in silence with your own self. I always say stillness is the key. Sitting in silence, reflecting about your life is step number 3. That's very, very important. Let's just sit for 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 times in a day. Are you doing that? Are you realizing where you're going? Am I going in the right direction? This is what I want. So, we finish college, we get married, then we have children. No. Today, the youngsters are saying we don't want children. We don't want to get married. Many of the youngsters are coming and telling me they're adopting children. A single mother is adopting a child. It's okay. Whatever it is that you want to do, you have to reflect, you have to write it down. The third thing is after stillness is about breathing. When you do breathing, your mind is slowly coming into your control. You don't sit and back answer. Do you back answer to your boss? We don't, right? How do we control that? We control it in our mind, we control it in our subconscious mind. No. I cannot tell anything wrong to my boss. I cannot shout at my boss. But the same thing can be done in every quadrant of your life. Whether it is your marriage, whether it is your recreation, whether it is your spiritual life, whether it's your social life, you have to plan all these things and practice these things. So breathing is very important. Then you do affirmations, practice the affirmations in the morning, throughout the day. And affirmation is what? When you say to somebody, I don't care, that's an affirmation. So get rid of all the negative affirmations.
Mm,
When you say that, yes, I want to be happy, I want you to be happy. Look at the best in people, look at the best in the situation. These are your affirmations. And
mm,
change affirmations from fault finding affirmations to positive affirmations. Then visualize what you want to become. What is it that you're looking at? Visualize that person that you want to become. Visualize that world that you want to create. And automatically, slowly and slowly, when you change yourself from inside, you can create that landscape inside of you, and the same landscape gets created outside. The landscape comes because of new eyes. You have to have new eyes, new vision. What you want in your life, you have to visualize again and again. I'm not talking about vision board. Vision board is a separate entity. I'm talking about a visualization of your dream. What is
mm,
it that you really want to become? And that is how you can change yourself. And the minute you change yourself, the minute you have gone through the challenges in your life, you can show it to the world. You can
mm,
share it with the world. And that becomes your place of influence to the global world. Over to
mm.
you. Shiva. Yeah.
Dr. Arka, you're such a blessing. You're such a wonderful woman. You're such a thought leader. Thank you. I was recalibrating with all of these things you're saying. When I was growing up as a young boy, at the age of I think 21 years or 20, 19, 18, like that, in my room, in my bedroom, I had a world map, and I star the countries I want to travel and speak in. Singapore was one of the country, India, I had Spain, I have United States, I had a lot of countries. And guess what? Today I've spoken in most of these countries. And every day when I get up from bed, I had some affirmation. I'm like, I'm a global speaker. I am a top international speaker. I'm doing all that. And it was not long from then I started living that exactly. The words I used to converse. And there's a lot of power in affirmations. And I love uh when you say I don't care, that is an affirmation. And we have to
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
I love that. And it's working. I had kind of when we had our first daughter, we need to get someone who could come and assist us in doing that. So this young girl came in, and she was brought up differently than how we bring up our own children. So her mindset was totally different from what we believe was the right mindset. So she's probably pretty negative and all of that. So good enough together with my wife, we were patient enough with her, and we started teaching her how to unprogram herself, like moving from negative word to positive word. The good thing is
Yeah.
that 2 days ago
Yeah.
I was talking with her. I she's actually learning this graphic design right now. So there's a design she designed, she sent to me. So that she had to send to me every week, every day, what she's designing, so I can give her feedback for her to improve. So she sent me a design, and in this design, it was good. It was like 50-50. So I was like, have you gotten feedback from your colleagues, from your fellow students, and what they're saying? She said they said this, and I had to do this again. And
Mm.
I was like, did you design this with a telephone or with a laptop or the desktop? She said she designed it with a desktop. I'm like, uh, could you design this with a phone? And
Mm.
it's impossible. Now, when she started saying it's impossible to design it with the phone, she changed her mind. She was like, well, it's pretty challenging to design with the phone.
Yeah.
And you see what happens. So she used to say it's impossible to do things. And now, with the consistency in working with her and being patient and nurturing her to change that paradigm, what you talk about, the amygdala and the reticular activating system. So she's gradually moving from being a very negative person to being a very positive person with time.
Yes.
And I was so impressed when she made that statement. I was like, wow, this thing is working. And so those affirmations are very powerful because she has been doing some affirmations and really helping. So you may be watching this now and you're a young person out there and people give you feedback, you are too negative, because that will affect your future. Maybe
Yeah.
start practicing affirmations. Start telling yourself that I'm not negative, I'm positive, I'm successful, I'm a warrior, I'm a champion. This, by the way. So my next question to you, Dr. Arka, is this. Some people call it Allah, some people call it the universe, some people call it Buddha, I call it God. Now, so people have different names, to God. Now, there's a difference between a vision and ambitions. And most of the time, we find ourselves doing everything to achieve our ambitions. How do you align your ambitions to the vision that has been given to you, be it by God, be it by the universe, be it by Allah or Buddha, whatever you believe? How do you align yourself to know that you are actually in his vision and not in your personal ambitions?
Very easy. It's
So,
very simple. Vision is something you imagine. The
mhm,
word imagination uses all your creativity inside your mind, inside your soul, and inside of you, and that becomes a beautiful dream. So
mhm,
when I was a child, I was always dreaming I'm a doctor and I'm treating these patients and I want to become like this and I want to take care of all the patients, and I was always imagining that kind of a thing. And slowly and gradually that dream starts manifesting. But the point I'm trying to make is the ambition is different. Ambition is, okay, now I finished my 12th standard, now I want to get into the medical school, I want to go to the pre-medical test, after that I want to become this kind of doctor, after that I want to become that kind of doctor. But vision is very different. Vision is all about imagining, vision is all about your dream. So never allow your dream to die. You may get less marks today, you may not get into medicine, it's okay. But there is a dream which you're having, and it becomes concrete when you start working towards the ambitions. So ambitions take you towards your dream. So
mhm.
ambitions are the power leaps, small ambitions and small power leaps, they take you towards your dream. And doesn't matter if you get less marks, doesn't matter if you can't get into medicine, doesn't matter you can get into something else, it's okay. But keep that vision and keep that dream alive inside of you. For me, it was my dream which kept me going. I had to sabotage my dream sometimes, but then I got up again. I said, no, 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 no. I am to become a doctor. Yes, I am going to become a doctor. And then I went for future education. I went and did my future education, my post graduation, and I did everything possible. That was my ambition. So ambition is something which is materialistic, which is outside, which is not having much of imagination, but vision, and your dream is something which is containing a lot of imagination. And when you imagine, no, Oliver, the whole of your brain is taking part, the reticular activating system, the primitive brain, the prefrontal cortex, the whole of the brain is taking part, and you feel happy. So keep dreaming, my friends. You can say to yourself, I can do this, I am doing it.
Yep,
Over to
very
you.
possible. Yep, I love that. So can we confidently say that vision is equal to purpose?
Actually, your purpose drives you to your vision. So I can become a doctor. So there was a little girl who came to my clinic. She was very small and maybe about 8 or 9 years of age. She gave me a flower, and I asked her, "What do you want to become?" She said, "I want to become a doctor." I said, "Okay. And why do you want to become a doctor?" So the reason she gave me, listen to that. She said, "In my village, my grandmother, she died because she did not get medical help on time. I find very difficult. Everybody has to. She's 9 years old or 8 years old, very, very tiny girl. She
Mm,
told me, I want to become a doctor because I want to help the people of my village to get medical assistance as quick as possible. Because my grandmother died because she did not get medical help on time. That is a purpose. You can become a doctor because you want to make lots of money. That is not a purpose. That is a materialistic thing. That is an ambition. But a vision would be, I want to become a doctor because of blah, 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 because I want to serve the community. A hospitality industry, I want to make a hotel. You can say that I want to have unreasonable hospitality. I want to go beyond service. I want to tell the people that I can treat you so well that I can make you having a very unforgettable experience in my hospital, in my hotel. So
mm.
each person's purpose is very, very important, and your purpose is what drives you. It makes you get up in the morning. It makes you go for what you want to go. It makes you bounce from the bed. Otherwise, you'll be putting off the alarm and then going back to sleep. Again another day. So purpose is what drives you to your vision and to your dream. Very good question. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So to the people watching us, make sure you whatever you're doing, work on your purpose, because it's the purpose. It's my purpose that got me to the studio. It's a purpose that got all of us, the crew, here, and it's a purpose that got Dr. Arka here. And my last question, as we close the curtains of this conversation, what is your message to young people watching us right now who are currently experiencing low self-esteem? They're being sabotaged. They undervalue themselves. They underestimate themselves. because of the words that the environment have poured upon them, those negative words that have hampered their productivity, because of the poor leadership in their countries, by whoever are the leaders, and they have just lost hope. What is the encouragement you have to them right now, please?
So the name of my center, my medical center, is called Hope and Care. Hope
Mm,
and Care Center. So I would say to the young generation, you are beautiful. You have the power to do whatever you want to do. Just do one thing. Just love yourself.
mm,
Just do whatever you can to love yourself. Don't get swayed by what people are saying. Believe in yourself. It is easy to say to someone, believe in yourself, but the people around the child or the student or the person have to make him believe. So I had my dad who made me believe in myself. Like this, we have to have one person in our life who makes us believe in ourselves. But I would say, start with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Take responsibility for who you want to become. Build yourself. So I would say the only word that will make you become strong in your self-esteem is I can do it and I am doing it. You can do it. It's just only that you have to be real and you have to be genuine to your own self, and don't take yourself for granted. Don't take yourself for granted. Don't take anybody for granted. Just be honest to yourself and work hard. Work hard means work smart also. I'm not saying that only work hard.
I love
So
that.
one, yeah, just I can do it will help you to go above all your challenges and all your obstacles in life. That's all I want to say.
I love that. And I want to end with these words of my mentor, one of my mentors and coaches, Awayak Shirak. He's he's in Cameroon right now. He said, Oliver, you are the only one who can determine how far you can go in life or how short you can go in life. No one else. If you decide to fail, if you finally fail, it was all left to you. If you decide to succeed, if you finally succeed, it's all left to you. People will never just come as many people think, but you have to keep on showing up to what you believe, to that vision, to that purpose, to that dream. Until you keep on showing up, nobody will ever show up. And that was it today, my fellow listeners and viewers from all around the world. Special thanks goes to Dr. Arka Chade, all the way from India, Mumbai, India, who has been our amazing, amazing, amazing guest of honor today in our Global Speakers Advantage podcast. And this episode was actually worked out and sponsored by the podcast studio under the leadership of William, an amazing entrepreneur. And if you're out there and you want to dive deep into your podcast and you're in the United States in Minnesota, come home, because the podcast crew studio is actually home for anybody who aspire to do a podcast, whatever the scale it may be. And to you watching right now, thank you for watching. We are so grateful that you're able to glue to your phone screens, your TV screens, your computer screens, from that country from where you're watching. Okay, if this inspires you, if this helps you, if this challenges you, why not share with somebody whom you believe that he or she will need to listen to this? And that was how we got it for today's episode. My name is Oliver Shom, and hey, this is your Global Advantage Speakers Podcast. And until Tuesday next week again, we want to wish you a wonderful rest of your weekend. It is morning in some part of the world, it is afternoon in some part of the world, it's evening in some part of the world, and guess what? I don't know the time it is in your own part, but I know that in India right now, it is somewhere. What time do you have there, Dr. Aka?
11:40. It's midnight.
It's midnight in India right now, and guess what? In United States, in the Central Standard Time, we are having
12.
1 o'clock. So we
Yep, yep.
wish you a wonderful rest of the day, evening, night, wherever you are, and God bless you. And bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.